Hi there. Welcome back to Sunnyside Journals. 'Tis the season to work on some more Christmas journals. I'm having fun. I'm all over the place. I've got several baskets going with various books at various stages. And fingers crossed, I will get them done. I actually want to, just thinking out loud here, I want to put a little bit more of a focus on getting them done. They are anticipating worse postal service this Christmas season than even last Christmas season. And I didn't find last Christmas season too bad. The shipments that I sent out all managed to get to their destination in a timely manner. Oh, let me put my timer on. But they're saying for various reasons, even though we're doing better than ever with our numbers, everyone everywhere, they're getting vaccinated and it's good, but we're still suffering. There we go. Am I going? I'm going. Good. Delivery everywhere is still suffering. I went to send something to Australia 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I was warned at the post office that it could take 8, 10, 12, or even 16 weeks for one little, not very big package to go to Australia. So, whoa. Anyhow, I'm roundabout. I'm working on a Christmas book for right now while I'm waiting for glue on other things to dry. It's just such a sweet little book. It's much older than I thought it was because it was in such lovely condition. But that makes sense now that I think about it, because it probably really only got taken off the shelf once a year, and even just for a little bit. Whoever the owner previously was, here I've still got a lot of the text block. I guess as they were working through, reading through it, they would draw, and of course now I can't find one. Here, they would draw little light pencil, thank goodness, check marks. And I suppose they were just, maybe this was their go-to book. See, there's some check marks there. For the Christmas season, or maybe they were someone who was in charge of, their church pageant, and they always wanted interesting readings for the church pageant, or who knows, but there's these little pencil check marks everywhere throughout the whole book. Whoever it was obviously worked their way through the whole book, but it was in lovely condition. So much so that I thought it was from the 60s. It is from 1928. So it is almost 100 years old. But lovely condition, lovely little pretty book. And it had, the only problem with it was there was a very bad water stain right here across this corner. And you can see it if you go back and view the live video that I did when Nancy and I had our little Crafty Crush getaway. The Crafty Crush, what was it? The Crafty Crush Christmas Craftorama. Say that 3 times fast. You can see what the actual damage, it was to this fabric. It didn't damage the structure or the integrity of the book. All it did was damage this corner of the front cover. Back cover's fine. Well, it's worn, but it should be worn for, what, a 92-year-old book, 93-year-old book. Anyhow, so this morning, the spine is nice and strong again. This morning I took the edges off of the old end papers. Oh, I want to get this back into its, this is really sharp. This is my bookbinding knife that my wonderful son-in-law, who carves knives or sharpens and makes. Like, this was a bread and butter knife. It was not sharp like that. And I have other knives that he actually will shorten and then make them really, really sharp. Let me know if you're interested, because I know that he's happy to make bookbinding knives. Anyhow, but it's really sharp, and I like to keep it covered when possible. So I covered the damage with this beautiful image of Mary and her son and the little lamb there. It just seemed like a perfect triangle shaped image. And I didn't want to cover this up. It's so pretty. It's a manger scene here. And and I made it sure it wrapped around. Now we're going to put end papers on. And I like this one. I like the gold. Goes with this. So I want to get these ready to the right size. So I always cut them a little too big because I'd rather trim afterwards. So I'm going to take this right out to here. And then, okay, down to here. The north-south measurement can be ready to go, but I find that the east-west measurement, I like it a little bigger than I anticipate, because it's easier to trim. I learned that from my years of doing hair. It's easier to trim off more. You can't glue it back on. All right. So let's see. Oh, that's very pretty. I anticipate also maybe wanting to put in pockets here and here. Oh, no, no. I had plans. I found an, oh yeah, maybe it could be a pocket though. I could make it into a pocket. I have this book. Now I can't see where it is. It's just a big, very pretty book of Christmas music that I got at my sale. And I liked these little Victorian choir singers. And I just thought, wouldn't they look pretty at the bottom of the front and the back end papers? But I'm looking at them now, and I think I could make them into tuck spots. Ooh, that's a cool idea. And then I also anticipate, I've got this gorgeous gold sari silk that I just got a couple weeks ago, ordered. And I'm thinking I want to put in permanent ties. So those would, I just think that would look really lovely with the gold here. And there's definitely a warm gold kind of a glow on this old painting. So that's the plan so far. Now let's do the other side. Oh, where's my pencil? Pencil. Front, top. And then the back. I still like this corner here, so I think I simply want it, I want that part. All right, let's, where's my pencil again? Oh, I already had one out. Oh my goodness. Oh well. All right. And, oh, that's going to be hard to see. I'm going to point, I'm going to draw myself an arrow and point at that line so that I know that's where I want to cut that. I hope you're all doing well. We are doing well over in our little neck of the woods here. Now, where did I say I want it? I want that line there. Oh, I'm in camera. It can be a little frustrating always having to stand up and down, but I don't have the system to have something off to the side where I can see my own camera and be able to tell. And it's just not something I'm worried about figuring out how to do. This is what we do here, you and I, works fine for us. I mean, I'm not a fancy person. I just happen to, when I'm working on art, and if you care to watch and listen to me blather on, I think we do just fine together. So I'm just darkening up that edge. And if I have to retrim it, yes, I'll do it again. That's okay, I don't mind. This is gathered twigs. That's the back. No, that's the front. Oh my, see? And there's precisely why. Back. Why I do this. Why do I? There. I'm right-handed. Why did I have it over there? I'm not sure when this will show. As I've mentioned many times, I'm just taping and recording and uploading and leaving them on private on my YouTube account until I think, uh-oh, I better upload a video. So I'm not sure what day of the week you'll be seeing this, but in actuality, it is a Saturday. I was thinking of going to my little book sale because November is the final month. I thought they were going to close down a little early this year, but because our numbers are good and they're allowed to all be inside, they don't have to run their cash outside or anything. They are going to go to their end of the month in November, but they did hold their bazaar already. They usually would end the year with their bazaar. But they held their bazaar a little earlier. They had a wonderful day for it weather-wise, and they made some really good money, which makes me very happy. So I do have November to go, but I don't like to go too often. First of all, I don't want them to think I'm out of my mind. Oh, she's back. On the other hand, I find if I go too often, it can seem like nothing. I'm just pushing that down, that little edge. It can feel like nothing's changed, and I find if I can show a little self-restraint, then when I do go, it feels like, oh yeah, there's lots of new stuff. Because they get boxes and boxes of donated books. And because of COVID, I'm quite sure they store it for a little while. I know up here where I live, thrift stores have to store things for a minimum of, I believe, 3 days before they're allowed to put them out on the shelves, just in case. Even though it seems to be mostly air transmission and very low transmission rate on surface, they still don't want to take any chances. All right, that looks nice. Just that little bit of difference, eh? Warms it up, gives it dimension. It's just a wonderful thing. Whoever thought that up, I am grateful. So we're going to have to make some little pockets out of those little choristers. That is going to... I'm going to get filthy nails. That's all right. We're artists. We always have dirty hands. Usually multicolored hands, right? Oh, that was close. I shouldn't be so vigorous. There we go. All right, now I do have, pardon me, back. I do have the fabric ready with the template on it. And unusual for me, I'm going with a pattern. I like this one. I think it's pretty. It's only going to peek through. You only get to use Christmas fabric for such a short time of the year. So that's going to be there. Then this will go here, and then this will go here. Yes, all right. Love it. That looks festive to me. And then our little carolers. All right, let's do those next. Let's get on this. So I may as well, that's very pretty. I'm not going to, I have actually many versions of this. It's a Victorian illustration that they're allowed to just keep reusing. And you can tell when they've expanded it because you can see the pixelating in the illustration. I'm going to fold this over and just let it become its own double thickness rather than gluing that onto. Usually I would use like a file folder to back things that I want to be a little bit heavier, but this is already quite heavy. I still don't trust it to be a durable pocket. So let's just fold this over and it can become its own cardstock. There we go. Now we need to glue this. Just trying to decide what glue I want to use. I wonder if I can see through it. I can. I think I'm going to do a combination of art glitter glue and glue stick. So let's get this ready to go, because it's always my luck that I put down the glue stick and then I want to use art glitter glue in some strategic places, and that's when I won't be able to get any glue out of it. And meanwhile that's good. Meanwhile my glue stick will have already started drying. Very frustrating. So this is a white glue stick, and I must say I do love purple glue stick, so you can see where you've already put down glue, but I guess in this case I wouldn't see it anyways because this illustration is just so busy and bright. I really love the border on it. Very pretty border. All right, that's, if I hold it up to my window and I can see the shine. Yes, I got it all. Now I'm sorry if you can't see this, I'm holding it up to the window because I want to put some glue around those little heads, and I can, if I hold it to the window, I can see where those little heads are and make sure they get a little extra strength from the art glitter glue, because art glitter glue is just so wonderful. But it's also so expensive, and it's also on older paper, it can leave lines. It doesn't blend the way, nice and flat, the way a glue stick does. So they all have their places in the studio, eh? All right, here we go. Down. Where's my little... banging things over there. I loved singing in choirs all my life. And I loved when my children sang. For a while at the church we attended when they were children, for a few years, we had this wonderful woman who could make magic with anyone's voices, with any group of voices, but with children, oh my goodness, hearing my children sing, well, I would usually be sitting there bawling, trying to be discreet about my crying, because it's just so beautiful. One Christmas, our choir director, she wrote a cantata. We were doing a cantata, and she wrote a descant for the children's voices to go over top of the adult choir's voices. I was in the choir at the time too. It was hard to get through myself because listening to those little angels singing while we were trying to sing our parts, and just their pure, true little voices just doing that beautiful descant, higher than the sopranos that were singing it. Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. All right, let's separate these, and then we'll fussy cut them. And they will become pockets. Let me think about this. So I was thinking for a second of saving that, but no, you know what? It's going to be a tuck spot. I got to stop calling it a pocket. It's going to be a tuck spot. So I can go around them, but still leave them joined. All right. Just talking to myself, reminding myself. So what I'm going to do now is, I am going to give it a fresh edge down here. Might as well do this one. And then I may pause and do the fussy cutting, because fussy cutting is pretty goof proof, but it does take up a lot of time in a video. So hold on while I fussy cut. Okay, so I got one fussy cut out. It was actually not that fussy, so let's do this one together. It's kind of lonely, fussy cutting on your own and no one to talk to. So let's just do this one together, shall we? And then I can show you what my plans are, but obviously, because end papers are one of the last things to go into the book, they just happen to be something I like to know ahead of time. So then we're just going to have to wait until the text block is sewn together and then glued in. So fussy cutting heavy things, of course, is a little trickier. But it's not doable. I'll be doing it a lot with a few of these journals that I've got planned for this Christmas season. I really enjoy having fun tuck spots, but sometimes the illustration you've chosen isn't heavy enough to withstand lots of in and out action of papers, especially over the course of years, right? Okay, let's go across and over to this little head over here. And then, as ever, because it's been glued, in this case to itself, I will darken the raw edge, and that will cover up a multitude of flaws that might be there. No fussy cutting is perfect, so thank goodness for our beloved Distress ink. It hides a multitude of sins. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one's not too hard. It's lots of smooth edges. It's not like one year I put a fussy cut Christmas tree into one of the journals. And oh my goodness, going around all those branches. Wowie. Of course, it was fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed the challenge, but wow, it was intense. Doing the little ins and outs and what have yous. This one is quite, going around the edges of these little choir ropes is easy. There we go. This is a little trickier, getting in between them and not bend it, but totally doable. Just take your time. I find myself, and it surprises me, you'd think using in tight little areas that you'd want these teeny tiny little points on. These are my favorite Fiskars scissors. But I actually often find that you'll get a smoother cut by just rocking that this area, and the word is escaping me, where it just in and out, that little cutting action there will quite often give you a smoother run rather than going at it with the points. Sometimes the points can be so, when you do that final click through, it can actually leave like a little terry dent. I don't know how to describe it, but if you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. And you have to be careful. Because it will just sort of leave especially cardstock, more so than paper. Yes, you have to press it back down afterwards. So it's still doable. Don't let that scare you. Fussy cutting book illustrations is just such a fun way to personalize an art journal, especially if you've found a book for a great price. It's just chock full of ephemera. We're just waiting for your imagination. There we go. And then there's a little spot down here in between them. There. They look wonderful. Let's see. There we go. Now, let me make sure I'm in camera. I am. Might come down a bit. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I got 1 minute. Let's work on one. So what I'll use is something to press it down. You can use an old credit card, an old store card, and just get those edges back down that have sort of become a little bit misshapen from the scissors, especially because it's cardstock. But here's why I wanted that art glitter glue around the edges. For paper, you just can't beat it. Now what I'm going to do is a little brush, and I'm going to push it up against these edges and just gently do those edges. Because it's a glossy paper, if you feel like there's too much ink on it, just wipe it back off. But the raw paper that has been exposed from cutting it, it'll grab it. And you'll be good to go, because you won't have that white core of the paper showing anymore. It'll look like it always was this way. Like it was your very own Tim Holtz ready-made paper doll. Yeah, how am I for time? Because I do want to show you what I anticipate it's going to look like. Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm at 30 minutes. So let's get our book again. Here's our book. Here's our end papers. Imagine I was able to finish inking around the edges. Look how cute those tuck spots are going to look. Isn't that cute? Oh, I'm really, really happy with that. That's going to be really pretty for the insides of a Christmas journal, a little Christmas journal. Let's back up a bit. Look at that. Ah, yep, I'm happy. All right, thanks for joining me today. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.